I'm already going into this pretty mad for no reason, so there'd better be a scene in this movie with a ferry crossing the Mersey. Let's go back to that Mersey beat scene to talk about Gerry and the Pacemakers, who at first were called Gerry Marsden and the Mars Bars until the Mars Corporation complained. No word yet from the pacemaker companies. With such hits as You'll Never Walk Alone and Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, they rose in popularity alongside the Beatles, and with them also being from Liverpool, and with George Martin recording and Brian Epstein managing, yeah, they also had to make a movie a little like A Hard Day's Night, which was released in 1964, with Ferry Cross the Mersey being released in '65. The plot of this one involves running from fans, entering a music competition, and then they have to look for their missing musical instruments. So the movie is like a bridge film between A Hard Day's Night and the 1978 Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, also about missing instruments. I do love this little backstory on it. With the movie needing to be thrown into production relatively fast, the creator of Coronation Street, Tony Warren, was hired to write the script, but couldn't complete it in time, so another writer, David Frandon, came in, got properly shit-faced off whiskey, and hey, completed it in no time. And director Jeremy Summers can probably work quick. He directed one of the Christopher Lee Fu Manchu movies, The Vengeance of Fu Manchu. No time for more backstory though. I can hear the crowd coming! That's a huge crowd waiting to see Kissinger. Oh wait, Gerry and the Pacemakers, so close. Hey, you damn kids, get off my roof! I'm in a meeting in here! Oh man, this is crazy, right? Look, we ran over a few, but it's okay. Give them your scalp and we'll call it even. I'm not even sure if all of them are here for the band. This lady looks like she missed the bus to work and is chasing it down. Little did you know the song It's Gonna Be Alright was shot inside of a Bergman film. Well, maybe not Bergman, but the movie is shot by Gilbert Taylor, who also shot Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, Polanski's Repulsion, and also Star Wars. But is it really gonna be alright? Hello? We're stuck on a wall here! The movie has a little bit of a docu-feel to it at the beginning, with Gerry talking a bit about their backstory and where they came from.
And if you wanted to get anywhere in life, you had to go and do it yourself.
Come hell or high water, I'll take down this light. Boys, did you hear what I said? Star Wars hasn't been made yet. They're talking about how they first met, sneaking into this abandoned K's merchandise mart. There is a grittiness to it that I like so far. Of course, that could also be due to the quality of the copies that you can find, because since its release, the movie was never released on video and has only been shown a handful of times on TV. It's a very sweaty scene. Little did they know it would be very hot playing in the sewers. I'm kidding. They're singing Why Oh Why in the famous nightclub, the Cavern Club, and at first it looks like it could be a concert film, but we need to throw some characters in here.
Gerry! Gerry Marsden!
Like Nick at Night sitcom aunt. She'll never play at the Cavern Club. Stop it! Gerry is a god at the club, but a pain in the ass at home. He is this close to saying, I work on my hair all day and you touch it. And yes, it's a 60s rock movie, so that means fast motion. Where he also discovers Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's like the threesome scene from A Clockwork Orange if he was just simply getting breakfast. Breakfast where he drives the family insane.
I like to approach the day with peace and serenity.
In fairness to grumpy Mr. Lumsden, this is too noisy before he's had his morning harumph.
Well, I trust we shall all be meeting this evening for our musical soiree. Have you practiced the first movement, Miss Neve?
You're not snooty enough. Going back to Clockwork, there is something very Alex and the Droogs about him, like if he dedicated all his life to music and zero to ultraviolence.
And don't forget the soiree tonight. That'll be real nice music, not that
Heathen stuff, Auntie Lil.
Got to rest, Mum. Gotta get fit, otherwise I'll miss more school. Luckily, he does make it to the ferry. He wouldn't be able to sing one of their most famous songs if he didn't. I kinda do hope they start playing soon.
Oh, how crowded you had last night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. I had to get out through the window. Did you? Yeah, to get my best suit to bed.
I am having trouble understanding some of their dialogue, but not this though. Ooh, is this where they write Ferry Cross the Mersey? Well, they came up with that song fast. Look, if you put a piano in the middle of the ferry, someone is gonna use it to create a hit song. But anyway, the title is accurate, so I can no longer be mad at the movie. Again, though, after Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter being about a dog, watch what happens here.
We don't care what your name is, boy.
Was every hit song in the 60s secretly about dogs? Now that the song is over, I hope there's a scene later where the son does in fact catch him crying. Also, the dog follows him, so I guess he'll write more songs about dogs. Oh, and they're students at an art school.
Hey, we'll make you look like Elizabeth Taylor today.
And you get extra credit for slapping the models on the ass. His girlfriend Dodie is insistent he comes up with something good for the music competition, at least before another harumph comes in.
Too much conversation.
A little more action, please. All this agitation ain't satisfactioning me. And when we come back, he will critique their art/tiles he pulled from the floor.
Hey, fella, do you like Kern's bread?
Oh, well, gee, I don't know, I guess.
You gotta be positive.
We are back, so let's check out some of Gerry's art.
It represents the vibrancy of passion and love, as expressed by that particularly hot vermilion, sir.
That's a drunken, passed out Casper the Ghost. You can't fool me. All this flirting and other things, the boys are gonna get very behind on their classwork. Because why do they always take a piano with them everywhere? It's a very whimsical film. No matter where happy-go-lucky Gerry takes his music, it inspires everyone in the class to start banging. Or to start the Third Reich. What?
You all will be there.
Well, World War II escalated quickly. They're singing Fall in Love, but when the angry professor comes back in, it's okay. They can say they're just in love with the dog outside. The more the movie goes on, the more I think the dog actually is some kind of guardian angel or supernatural force.
Good shiny.
By George, the dog will love it if we start tapping on the table. That gives us an idea for a song.
What is this thing?
I don't need to hear the specials. I just want to place my order. They sing The Thing Called Love, where the customers are acting like they do this all the time. If we ignore them, they'll just be on their way. Though with the shots of the dog, I'm assuming the thing they love is a nice bone. People are leaving, quick! Get them their hot and sour soup fast! Who cares if it's finished? We need them to stop singing. Oh, and the restaurant may have cooked the dog.
Anybody seen the dog?
No, I haven't. Oh, hey.
Please, please let the dog come back. Luckily, Dodie meets producer Jack Hansen to woo him into managing the Pacemakers.
Well, come and sit down, Miss Dawson, and tell me all about...
Oh, no, thank you. I'm all right, Tim.
Well, how am I supposed to put my hand on your leg over there? At first he says he has no time, then within seconds he's like, so, when can I hear them play? That was fast. Who wouldn't want to manage the boys? They bathe standing up, brush their teeth with a toilet brush, and... they come with their own sound effects. There is one catch, though. It's possible they may be serial killers. Also... they're down one of the band members. Oh, it's okay. He's fine. What are the rules of this film? Now that we're done shooting imaginary things and jumping off of platforms, we can start playing.
Come on!
Unfortunately, it again causes a riot. Oh my god, they're chasing me! These girls love a good deal on a bathtub! Sorry, I'm not sure what to say here. I'm not used to scenes like this not being on a beach for some reason. Jack is incredibly impressed and agrees to become their manager, on the grounds that their song Think About Love is about when you stare into the eyes of a basset hound. Speaking of, yes, the dog is alive and free to shit anywhere he wants in the building. And if they become famous rock stars, perhaps Gerry and Dodie can finally be in the same vehicle with each other. Like a lot of the stars we featured this month, Jerry Marsden didn't really have an acting career after this film, but he is likable in it, way better than this elderly band looking like playing instruments is causing air to shoot out their ass.
Thank you, my dear.
Good job, you just caused the Titanic to sink on its own. If you think Mr. Lumsden is angry about Gerry having the nerve to open a door and come into his own home, wait till you hear this dirty language.
A quail.
What do you do with it? Eat it? Wear it? Or it?
Clearly a line from the classic song by the Faded Blue.
Go yourself, my friend.
And Gerry's punishment for this filthy talk is to be in Mr. Lumsden's band. The only thing that can save him is a random fantasy sequence. Look, at this point in these 60s rock and roll movies, it's none of my business why something is happening. There's chimps in an orchestra, just go with it! I'll teach you to daydream in my jug band. Get out! And no playing in the hall! That's not how you play that! Some of this movie is shot like an old jam-handy educational short where Gerry is gonna learn how to ask out a girl while using proper table manners. However, with the song She's the Only Girl for Me, he's singing directly to her picture, so there's no confusion as to who he's singing about. By the way, if you're wondering where Dodie is, we didn't actually have the budget to show you, but here's a telegram with script updates.
Oh, nothing wrong, I hope.
Well, she had a slight pile-up in her car.
Oh, dear.
Whoa, she was in a car pileup? That's crazy. Anyway, bye. It still gets weird, like his aunt wanting to give him the message while Lumsden cleans porridge from his ears. Move aside, Auntie. Let me get a good look at that sweet, sweet Gerry. No joke, they're worried Gerry committed suicide, so they break the door down. He's fine, by the way. He was just listening to music. Why wasn't that the first thing you thought he was doing? No matter, at least now he knows about Dodie's accident.
You're dead right, Auntie. I must trust you want to see how Dodie is.
Perfectly calm reaction to that.
Oh, she was in a car pileup? Okay, better check on her. Come on, boys! We're sort of in a hurry, but let's stop to make some cracks about this house.
Then they finally make it to the mansion.
Prudentia dormit nunquam means, Kilroy was there.
But seriously though, I hope she's not in a coma or brain dead. Here, let's see if we can get inside via shenanigans.
Are we expecting you, gentlemen?
Nobody gets to see Dodie or the wizard. Oh, okay, just this once, but be respectful. Look, if there's swords and armor laying around, you have to play with it. And much like a character from the 365 Days trilogy, Dodie is perfectly fine.
You alright now? No broken bones and all that jazz?
As if you cared.
You're right, I didn't. They dropped this car accident thing fast and instantly get back into the singing competition plot where they have to practice. See? All is safe. Oh, except for that guy, I guess. Their band members are dropping left and right. What's band practice without getting shot in the back with a harp? On the plus side though, we finally have a piano in a normal location. It still causes the stuffy old codgers to harumph!
What's that? It's the Mersey beach, sir. Oh, well.
Then he mixed sleeping pills with his brandy. But he's missing out on all these crazy camera angles.
I'll wait for you 'cause I know you're mine.
could you please get out of my face? I don't want to be yours. You're being awkward. Carson and his gang of Suzanne Plachettes knows that alcohol will do nothing but make them play with more swords and shoot each other with more arrows. Then he has the courage to impress her father with his art knowledge.
I think this opaque pigmentation is a much warmer colour than Gauguin's ultramarine.
Well, I like the bunny with a hat.
After that tomfoolery, Dad can finally be off to work to come up with a new idea for his next picture. And with that, Walt Disney came up with 12 talking dog features. I don't even know why the band needs to go to a music shop. They just randomly find pianos and other instruments no matter where they go. They don't have to buy anything. What is with scenes in music shops always leading to musical numbers?
I don't mind telling everyone it's plain to see.
Jack may be impressed that their music is summoning an army of girls once more, but little does he know this is actually because toxic gas from a crashed meteor has led to a zombie invasion, which is still highly frowned upon. Harumph! No clue how they got out of that alive. They just did, as they're borrowing a car from Ace Ventura's landlord. Also, he's now a 12-year-old child driving a car. And is it just me, or is he starting to look more and more like Peter Bark from Burial Ground? Oh, and now comes the plot about their musical instruments going missing at the concert, as they're accidentally switched with other bags. It happens about 75 minutes into the movie. Plot is not the top priority in Ferry Cross the Mersey. But I do hope this leads to the band fighting Aerosmith and Steve Martin to get their instruments back. I mean, sure, it goes without saying that a movie like this is dated, but for the most part, it's in a good way, with it being a throwback to the Mersey Beat scene. And then this happens!
Your friend and mine, that well-known disc jockey, Jimmy Savile!
Oh, Jimmy Savile is in it! Whatever became of that guy? Huh, this isn't gonna get awkward.
And one of them is going away to represent this fine, fair city. And how do you like that, then?
You won't be cheering for long. How you gonna get out of this?
Would I lie to you?
Probably!
Anyway, on with our opening act. Gary Glitter, ladies and gentlemen.
Kidding. The first act is for the band The Foursome. The girls are excited as they are holding in taking a shit. I love that this competition is judged by an audio meter, the same way they judged the fart competition in King Frat. When we come back, will Gerry and the Pacemakers find their instruments? I'm gonna bet yes, but we're taking a break anyway.
My friend here is going to tell you how much he loves Kern's bread.
What'll Mr. Kearns do if I refuse?
Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
We're back, and the search for the missing instruments is underway. Clearly, Charlie Chaplin did it. Whoa, this is getting downright dangerous. If Dodie can survive the car pileup, these boys can crash into a train. Anyway, the plot is loose, as really it's just a concert film now, as Earl Royce and the Olympics sing a familiar tune. Hello, you're supposed to sing that at the music shop, thank you. They do a good job of making the comedy parts look like a silent film. For a minute, I kinda did wonder if this was stock footage from an older movie. And then, of course, the dog shows back up. Oh, did the dog really say that? Before it cuts back to the concert, I'm expecting Graham Chapman to pop up to say, "Stop that! This movie's just gotten silly!" But this has worked out well for Gerry, because I'm guessing in hindsight, they're glad that not only were they not introduced by Savile, but also weren't the band the Blackwells who take the stage dressed up like Savile. Boys, what are you doing? There was a box of Cosby sweaters right there. And before you think it's less awkward backstage... Of Of course, someone's barging into the girls' dressing room. How is it that the concert has more material for me to talk about than the silent film gags that keep getting spliced in? I don't know what they're gonna call their film, but I have the feeling it will be, "What's all this then?" Look, even though I haven't seen next week's movie yet, I just have the feeling this one is gonna set the record for most fast motion in a 60s rock and roll movie we've watched this month. There doesn't even need to be these cutaways. The concert itself has a lot of action. The fight that it shows is an actual fight that did break out in the Locarno Ballroom where they filmed. They'll calm down this crowd. They send up Cilla Black on stage as a worthy sacrifice to the crowd. Gerry won't be able to rescue her. He's still busy Buster Keatoning the streets. This is a very moody, passionate performance of Is It Love, which is beautiful, but weird coming after a scene like this. Oh, they found their instruments, by the way. Phew, that was intense and absolutely had to be drawn out this long. Yes, they win the competition, and what do they win? Hors d'oeuvres! And thus the movie ends like it begins, with a ferry crossing the Mersey. But stick around for the mid-credits twist. The dog was driving the ferry this whole time? Ferry Cross the Mersey is charming in its simplicity. I mean, it really is just Gerry and the Pacemakers version of A Hard Day's Night. But the music is great, so it's still kinda cool, and the quality gives it a Lost Relic feel. It doesn't have the problem of too much plot, like Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, but it isn't nearly as good as Catch Us If You Can, which was surprisingly provocative and clever. The movie is very padded, though. Very, very padded. Maybe not to the extent of something like Santo vs. the Strangler, but it does have bits that unnecessarily go on for a very long time. Though I do like that for some weird reason, the dog seemed more important to this movie than the one in Mrs. Brown, which was about dog racing, sort of. Stay tuned next week as we close out the month with the Freddy and the Dreamers movie, Cuckoo Patrol. I did look for the one with the worst reviews.